What's up, Laker fans? In this video, I break down one of the Lakers' most common offensive sets. Chess series starts out similarly to horns in that you've got one guard up top, two bigs right around the elbows, and two guys are in the corners. The action starts with one big setting a flare screen for the other, and it's usually Kuzma receiving the screen. As Nance is setting that screen for him, Ingram is clearing out to the other side. We'll get to the importance of that later. In most instances, teams will just switch big to big screens like this, so Kuzma is now Aldridge's responsibility. He's sagging too far off of him, but Kuzma can't knock down the open jumper. This is the same play in real time. Nance sets the flare screen for Kuzma while Ingram clears out. This jumper off of the flare screen is the first option in chess series. Here it is again. Randle sets the flare screen for Kuzma while Brewer clears out, O'Quinn sags too far off, and Kuzma knocks it down. So what happens if the defensive big doesn't make that mistake? Here you got Randle setting the flare screen and Powell jumps out on Kuzma. You've got Brewer heading to the other side of the court, and what you've done is effectively cleared out an entire side for Kuzma to go up against a 5. The Lakers don't always clear out the corner man though, as we see here with KCP.
This is a Homage beat.
They don't always have to run it for Kuzma either. Here they run the same action for JC and he gets an open look. So what happens if Kuzma or someone else isn't really open coming off of that flare screen? Then the ball's going to get reversed to the corner man and he's going to get at least one ball screen, usually from Kuzma. On this one, JC gets 2 of them from Kuz and Nance. Chicago blitzes this, and if JC just hits Nance on the short roll, they have a 4-on-3 situation, but he misses it. But Caruso makes a nice back cut and Kuzma finds him for the layup. Here it is again in real time. That ball screen for the corner man is the second option in chess series. They can also reverse to the corner and have the big go to the high post rather than set a ball screen, but they're usually confused when they do this, although they get a good look on this one. Option 3 out of chess series is the one that leads to the most shots. Nance is supposed to set the flare screen here, but he doesn't make any contact. But Randle still gets the ball and reverses it to Brewer on the handoff. Then Brewer passes the ball right back to Clarkson up top, who's switched spots with Caruso. So what's the value of this? Why not just set the high ball screen for Clarkson in the first place? The reason is that this allows JC to set the pick and roll up out of triple threat position rather than with a live dribble. This makes it easier for him to set up which way he wants to go, and then from there it's just high ball screen decisions. But what happens if the guy coming off the flare screen isn't open, or if Luke just wants to mix it up a bit? We've got Randle coming off of Nance's flare screen, although Nance doesn't make any contact. But Lonzo doesn't pass the ball to Randle, and instead it flows into a ball screen with him and Nance. Nance properly slips the screen and they get a good look. On this one, Randall forgets for a moment that he's supposed to set the ball screen after setting the flare screen, but eventually he does it and they get the layup. They can also clear out one side like we saw earlier, and this is my favorite action within chess series. Here we see Josh Hart heading from one corner to the other. So when Nance rolls off of that high ball screen, the nearest help defender to tag him is lifted, defending Kuzma. It's very difficult to tag from there, and that puts the hedging big in a tough spot. So with all of that said, does the play actually work? I charted 50 chess series possessions and the Lakers scored 48 points, or 0.96 points per possession. The average half-court possession in the NBA gets around 0.95 points per possession, so it's slightly above average overall. But for the Lakers, who struggle in the half-court, this is a fairly productive set. It all starts with Kuzma's ability to score both inside and out. It also plays into Jordan Clarkson's strengths as a scorer off of high ball screens. It also gives Lonzo the ability to run pick and rolls while weak side defenders are being occupied with the flare screen. But there are several things that keep them from maximizing the effectiveness of this play, starting with their screen setting. Far too often, the bigs are making poor attempts to make contact on that flare screen. It can also be susceptible to ball denial if the Lakers don't backcut the overplays. Watch where Kuzma catches this, right near half court. This pushes the entire play farther out than you want it and makes it less effective. This is one of my favorite plays of the season as a result of that. Manu overplays the passing lane and both Ingram and Lonzo read that at the same time. Knowing how and when to break off plays is one of the biggest things that comes with experience in the NBA. Young players will sometimes robotically run plays rather than reading the defense within that play. There are also some personnel issues that make this difficult to run, primarily amongst the guards. Ennis should be making this pass right now to Kuzma because Kuzma's man is laying on the screen. But he doesn't see it and opts to use the pick and roll instead. When he comes off of the pick and roll, he makes the wrong read because Kuzma's still the guy who's open. Caruso has other issues which revolve around him being too passive as a scorer. He picks up his dribble too early here because he expects Kuzma to be open rather than having it flow right into that ball screen with Nance. That blows up the play. He flows into it here, but since he's not looking to score, no opportunities created out of it. Lonzo can be guilty of this as well, although to a lesser extent. But all in all, chess series has become a go-to set for the Lakers and one of their more effective actions. See if you can spot them running this in their next game. Alright, that'll do it for this one. As you may have heard, I'm doing this full time now. My goal is to create consistent and thoughtful content that helps you enjoy the Lakers on a deeper level. I'm very much dependent upon Laker fans to continue this work, so if you believe in what I do, please click on either the Venmo or Patreon link below and donate. Thanks so much, guys. I'll catch you next time.